Welcome everyone to the ACT day 2 of our conference. Thank you for selecting this workshop. I know you could have gone somewhere else or done other things, so we're really flattered that you're with us. This workshop session is called Positively Reinforcing. It's very apropos after our keynote speaker this morning. It's about praising and truly bringing out the best in others. We want to let you know that this workshop is being recorded. I am pleased to introduce to you Tina Rosell, who's on this call at this moment. She will be coming in and out. Do you want to quickly say who you are, or you have a minute for
I
the
do
rest of
have
our
a minute.
great?
I'm so happy to be here. I am so behind the scenes working to help put this event together. So that's why Claudia is saying I'm in and out. Normally I do these trainings with beautiful Claudia and beautiful Karen and Chris Mesa, who is currently in Hawaii. So we're missing him. So it's usually the four of us. So you're in good hands with Claudia and Karen, and we love this work. We believe in this work. And I'm going to stay on this call as much as possible. I've got multiple computers and I'm just kind of in and out being behind the scenes for the event, but so happy to be here right now.
Thank you, Tina. So I'm going to share my screen just so that we can get our presentation started. Here we go. So welcome to Growth Heartset. This is part 3 of 3 skills that we're reviewing with the community during the conference. Growth Heartset is a program of the Educare Foundation in partnership with ACOE and CDE, who have collectively worked to train several of us to deliver this program to peers like yourselves in the field. As Tina introduced herself, she works for ACOE and oversees the Region 4 Expanded Learning Programs as well as SEL. And along with us is a certified Heartset education trainer. I'm Claudia Medina. I work for Alameda Unified. I oversee after-school programs as well as family and community engagement, and also very recently a certified Heartset education trainer. Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen Polk, and I work for San Francisco Unified School District for the Excel After School programs. I'm the STEAM Hub Manager, as well as a Heartset Trainer. Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you. And so if you guys would be so kind to put your name on the chat and let us know what your role is and what organization you represent, that would be very generous. Welcome, Megan.
Megan, yeah. Natalie. Hi, Natalie. Good morning.
Oh, I'm loving this. Counselors, yay.
Yes.
Teachers,
Kalpana.
wonderful.
Brazil. Thank you. Ariana.
Very nice.
Rachel. Arlene.
Diablo, Berkeley.
Vanessa. Tina. Diana. And Paulette Morgan. I said this yesterday. You're probably too young to know, but I grew up watching Romper Room, and she'd always say, "Good morning, Diana. Good morning,
Orange
Maria."
County, excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, thank you everyone for being with us. Thank you
Patrice.
for
Oh,
joining
from
us from
Pittsburgh.
wherever you are. And I get a feeling many of us are from across the entire state. So this is
Yeah.
really wonderful to connect with you, especially as we are navigating some uncharted waters on so many levels. So thank you, dear peers, for being with us today and for expanding our ability to grow and tolerate ambiguity. Thank you very much. And so we'll start with some human check-ins as well here, where we would like to know how you're doing today.
So this is our third
I
one.
love that Rachel is laughing out loud. She probably has a chihuahua.
Right. We start off with cats, and then we went to squirrels, and now we're at chihuahuas. So on the scale of chihuahua, how are you feeling today? So take a look at the pictures, see which one will describe your feelings today. I'm kind of feeling 7. I'm just kind of like, okay, just waiting for some answers here. And then we're going to put you in breakout rooms, and you're going to introduce yourselves to each other, and then share why you're feeling that chihuahua, your chihuahua scale. And that'll be like
okay, but hold on. I'm loving this. Some 7s, some 4s.
I know. I feel like that.
3s.
Like I'm trying to be alert, but I'm still like,
I'm navigating a 6 and a 2, you know? It's like,
yeah.
All right, so let me stop my share. Think about how you're feeling, and let's connect a little bit with peers across the state. What I'd like to, and actually, some of you may go into talking about your Chihuahua state, or you can talk about what is it that you need to feel successful. If you participated in Toby's presentation this morning, our keynote speaker, she addressed some a really ideal question, which is what can I do to help you succeed? So what do you need to help you succeed in the current environment that you're working in? You can talk about that, or you can talk about you know, your state of Chihuahua being. I'm gonna create those break rooms.
Oh, I have somebody coming in too. I meant them in.
And here we go. Please accept your room. Thank you.
I just admitted somebody, so they can catch them up. Hi, Paulette. How are you? Good to see you again.
Karen, I too remember the romper room. I forgot it until you said it.
Remember, she said, I see Tina and I see this one.
I always think of that when you say that.
Did you see it? Did you watch it?
Yeah, it was on when I was a kid.
Rob remembers it too.
Yeah. That's because we're old.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome. So I think, yeah, the rooms will be fully closed in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Nice. People are having a lot to share. That's wonderful.
Hello. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. I'm sorry if I cut you short there. It looked like you all had a lot to share. So I'm really glad. Anybody want to share out just how you're doing, what Chihuahua State, or if some feedback or a comment on if you were able to listen to Toby? What do you need to succeed?
Any share outs?
I can share unless Vanessa, you want to go?
Yes, Brazil.
Okay. I was going to say our group, we kind of all, and you can stop me, ladies, if I'm misquoting us. But we all kind of had the theme of sort of trying to stay positive and also sort of needing some space for various things. So like walking, being just in another location other than your home. Like for Arlen, that's very, very big. And I understand too, you know, it's like just having some alternative spaces and a little space to either kind of release a little bit of the pressure, regardless of what kind of pressure, because there's all kind of pressures.
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I really love what she said, and Vanessa, I saw your hand. I really love what she said about this quote, what we don't repair, we repeat. This idea that we all come with experiences, with some good and some not so good, and how if we don't repair or restore that part of ourselves, that we actually bring it with us wherever we go, and how we can transfer that. It's my interpretation, how we can transfer that to other little people.
Mhm.
And so that really stayed with me really deeply. Vanessa, you raised your hand.
In our breakout room, in this moment right now, we both just feel really happy and excited to take all the information from this wonderful conference and be able to utilize that and implement that into our various programs or classrooms. And so that's just really exciting.
Oh, that's really wonderful to hear.
That's good.
Thank you. One more, anyone else? We're good? All right, well, let's continue with our day's presentation. Let me share my screen back.
Okay, so our overview and purpose of the day is to develop your experience of Growth Heartset as you learn tools and skills to bring to your school, program, or organization to create cultures of greater caring, compassion, and success. And so we really think that this is important, especially around this time in, I call it the 3-tier pandemic, the COVID, the racial unrest, and the financial distress on families. So finding that compassion during this time is really important. A quote from Aristotle is, educating the mind without educating the heart is really no education at all. So you have to capture the heart and then you capture the mind. And this is so relevant now, especially because it is virtual learning. It is that kind of separation. If we can make some kind of connection, even with virtual learning, it's really important. I almost want to say for our survival, for our heart and our humanity, that we still have those human connections.
Thank you, Karen. And I just want to remind our awesome little team this morning that this is part 3 of or session 3 of the 3 heart sets we're sharing with the community. And so for those of you who are coming back, there's some repetition at the beginning of the presentation, and then we get into the 3rd heart set. So thank you for your patience. I know that we master what we keep learning. And so I hope that if you are here as a repeat, we are flattered and thank you for doing that. But just so you know that this introduction just helps us set the context for the rest of the presentation. So here we go. And so with that, we're going to share with you as we're learning in this SEL conference is emotional intelligence. And so emotional intelligence comes from obviously self-awareness. And when we look at the pyramid of social intelligence or social emotional learning, is self-awareness. It's really self-regulation. It's all these self-mastery. And so this little video that we're going to play for you this morning speaks to how we often cannot judge just based on what we see, but it's important to actually to have that intuitive or develop that intuitive sense or just that respect of what others may be experiencing. And so I'll get that started. Thank you very much for your patience with that. We're gonna put you guys in a little breakout room with, let me share back.
So, yeah, we're going to put you in a breakout room, and we have the questions in the chat for group discussion and reflection. One is, what thoughts, reflections, feelings do you have in watching the video? 2, what resonates with you? And 3, what does it say about building connections with others? And those 3 prompts are in the chat to help guide your conversation.
And let me, there we go.
We'll see you in a few.
Yeah.
Hey, where'd everybody go? Oh, there they are.
We got about, I love that people are engaging in the conversation.
They're waiting till the
really do.
last second before it comes back.
Okay, here we go.
Seems like there were some great conversations going on. Paula says yes. Kalpana says yes. Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you guys are able to have a time to discuss and share and communicate with each other.
I'm curious, anybody want to share out some of the reflections, some of the experience with that video and or what you're processing? Vanessa,
Yes,
go ahead.
Vanessa. Mhm.
I just kind of wanted to share a couple of talking points that Kalpana really shared. It really resonated with me. You know, she's a SDC teacher, and she was just saying how, you know, you need to create a safe space for your students so they can share their, you know, the different experiences that are going on with them. And then also, you know, making sure that there's no judgment in there, and they know that. Sorry about the phone calls. And then also as a teacher, an educator, or whatever, making yourself vulnerable to the students so they know that you're human too. I
Yes.
think that those were just really great key talking points that she mentioned. We both felt a lot of sadness from watching that, you know, and just knowing that so many people have so many different things going on that they never share because they're not offered the opportunity or they don't feel safe enough or whatever the case may be. So just being that person for at least one person, you know, I think will make a huge difference. So
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? That's some, I mean, we're all processing a lot right now, right? We are all experiencing just, and I do not want to project, but we're all supporting youth, we're all supporting colleagues, we're all supporting family, and it's all magnified. And so our emotions are really raw and real. And so we're feeling everything. And so I thank you for playing full out and being here today and just riding along, you guys. There's, I said this yesterday, there's nothing more comforting than being among peers right now because we share common values. That I know. We wouldn't be in this line of work if we didn't. And so I feel the safety in being with you. And so thank you. I feel a lot of gratitude these 2 days just because I would have not been able to survive it otherwise alone. So let me just bring us back. as we shared, Growth Heart Set is a set of skills. We presented yesterday, seeing the best in everyone and listening from the heart. And today we're focusing on positively reinforcing and the importance of praise and the importance of elevating and acknowledging people and seeing them. And so with that, positively reinforcing is acknowledging, appreciating, and praising students, encouraging, inspiring them to do their best and keep them growing and learning. I think that through this conference, we keep learning, we keep hearing about social emotional. Well, it is absolutely the foundation for people to feel safe. And so that positive reinforcing or that acknowledgement has to be absolutely genuine in everything that we do. And so we're wondering if you can take a moment to reflect. Think about how you appreciate your students. What words do you use? What words do you say? How do you relate to your students? How do you share of yourself to the students so that they feel a level of connection and rapport with you? Let's give it a moment to reflect that, and we could share out in the chat, or I'm happy to take some out loud share outs. Anyone want to share a little bit of how do you build that rapport? How do you build that connection? What do you say to your students? Kalpana.
So, thank you, Claudia. So recently I was teaching my students adjectives about describing a noun. So I gave all their names, like for example, awesome Annie, marvelous Marlowe, like that. I had a list of their names, and in front of their names, something that describes beautiful adjectives in front of their names. So they were so happy to see that, oh wow, a marvelous, like when I call them, there's some kind of smile there in their face. When you, that is a small thing that I could see, that somebody is telling them they are marvelous, somebody is telling that they are amazing. So these small things, like, getting in with the students, connecting with them is a one way of connecting.
Yeah.
And also I was telling Vanessa that every day I do mindfulness with my students, ask them how they are feeling. 10 minutes just goes into how they feel their body and their mind. So first time they didn't know, then I tell them my body feels like this, I feel tightness here, my mind right now is not focused, I'm getting lot of thoughts here in my mind. So then they know that, okay, now they are in the space to tell me that how their body, how their mind feels.
Right.
So, and then we go into academics. So the thing is just connecting with them, their thoughts and how they feel, the body love wise. I think those things are extremely important for us to connect with the students.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Some words of wisdom, some share outs? I'm curious, how do you guys, if anybody wants to share out, how do you help? What's your tool to help people feel safe online? Like, how do you engage so that they feel like they could open their screen or share out or participate? What's one tool that has worked for you guys? Anyone? Yeah.
I think class rules, right? As I always tell that I'm the teacher here, so I'm expected to do certain things from my principal. And for example, Miss Cook is the principal. So now I have to turn my camera on while I'm teaching. So this is the rule, the expectations that I follow. That's my expectations. So when come to school, there are some expectations for everyone. So I put myself first so that they know that, oh, my teacher also has some rules and expectations to follow. She cannot do anything she wants. So I think once I set up my thing first, so then I said, guys, I have to unmute. I have to mute. This is the rule, that expectation for me. So what do you think as a students, that I ask the questions and I make them answer instead of me telling them every time, don't do this, don't do that. You tell me now, what should be the expectation? If I'm expected from my principal to follow something, what do you think for you guys that you should be following from me as a teacher? So they said, yeah, I need to unmute myself too. There
Mm,
you go. Then I
That's
stopped.
nice. Yeah. It's
yeah,
great.
that is.
Humanizing as well. It makes you like humble to them. Like I have expectations and you have expectations. We both are trying to meet the things that we need to do. I like that.
Yeah.
We're at 10:27 and we got so much to tell you in the next 15 minutes. So we probably should start moving along a little bit. Thank
There
you
we
so
go.
much for sharing, Kapana.
Thank you, Karen. So here, we're all very much aware of the Maslow's needs. We are all operating at the safety and security and psychological needs level. And so I hope that you have what you need and that your schools and your systems have the supports necessary to support children in meeting those basic needs. I think we've all learned and grown a lot as to what is necessary, including basic internet as a basic need for learning right now. And my hope is that you continue your advocacy work for students in reminding people that those basic needs are the only things that are fundamental in us getting forward through this pandemic, and as we're still in remote learning. This notion of the soil and seed, and many of you breathe it, is without a soil that feels safe, our platforms, our conditions, our classrooms, if they don't feel welcoming, if they don't feel loving, kids are not going to show up. So then we cannot plant these seeds of learning. We cannot infuse any knowledge or expect them to respond without that soil. Always very important to be tilling in, to be caring for it all the time.
So we blending the heart and mind. We know a lot about growth mindset. That's been discussed for a while now. It's kind of like the new buzzword or practices that we have. But growth mindset and growth heart set, blending the two. So mindset and heart set is the soil, like Claudia was saying, for building culture. There is a mind-heart connection. Thinking influences emotions and vice versa, and students really need that kindness for them to thrive in learning. So they have to feel safe. We talk a lot about warm demander. We talk a lot about expectations, what Kalpana was saying, and to be able to have those expectations, you have to have that relationship. And that relationship definitely evolves around, I feel safe, I feel accepted, I feel loved, I feel appreciated. So all that is part of the heart and mind growth mindset, heart set. Mindset. The growth mindset is based on the belief that your basic qualities are things you can cultivate through your efforts. Although people may differ in every which way, everyone can change and grow through application and experience. We love talking about growth mindset because many times people think, oh, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough. Like, well, those things you're not born with innately. I mean, some things you are, but you grow to improve. You always continue to practice. And that's the growth mindset. I may not be good at it now, but I'm going to keep going on. I remember when my daughter was little, she hated going into the deep end of the pool, but now she outswims me. I can't even teach her anymore because she's such a good swimmer. And that's the growth mindset. You start off with what you know and you continue. Fixed mindset, we know, is not everyone can learn, good, bad, right or wrong, it has to be perfect, thrive in comfort zone, like you never change, you just stay where you are. Not okay with the learning curve, and your success is my failure. The growth mindset is opposite of that, of course. It's everyone can learn, because everyone can. Learning versus judgment. Mistakes are part of learning, and I love that one. That's my favorite one, because mistakes are part of learning. seeks challenges, embraces the learning curve, and appreciates and supports others' success. So, and that's the community right there. That's when everybody's like, we are supporting everyone doing well, not just I got mine, go get yours, you know. So the heart set, one's core beliefs, intentions, skill sets, and way of being that are the foundation for positive social emotional living, learning, and teaching. That is so important in the work that we're talking about, because like fixed mindset and growth mindset, there's a fixed heart set, closed, judging, hurting, controlling, separating, holding back, mistrusting, self-absorbed, fearful. Those things are fixed. Those things are the things. We had a great example yesterday. One of the participants talked about how a student and her father were going to, her father was trying to get the student to school, and the cops stopped him. And so the daughter was like, Dad, you didn't do anything wrong. He says, well, sometimes that happens to African-American men. So sometimes we have to deal with it. And so when the student finally got to school, the teacher says, oh, so-and-so was late again. That's a fixed heart set. That's not an inviting and cultivating climate for that student. A growth heart set is open and forgiving and caring and accepting, connecting, giving and trusting, considerate and loving. So an opposite way would be like, hey, we're so happy you're here. I'm so glad you made it. We really wanted you to be part of this community today. So thank you for being here, as opposed to judging that student for being late. Fixed heart set and growth heart set, like fixed mindset and growth mindset, it's about being open. It's about opening up your heart, being vulnerable, being accepting, still expecting expectations, still putting those expectations out there because you want them to grow, but being part of that growth with them. So it's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. So very true. Go ahead, Claudia.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. It is absolutely true. And that what we see, it brings us to a this Babemba tribe that practices what we are all learning to embody, which is restorative practices. Can I have a brave soul read it out loud? Anyone? I'm happy to read it. So, in the Babemba tribe of South Africa, when a person acts irresponsibly or unjustly, he is placed in the center of the village, alone and unfettered. All work ceases, and every man, woman, and child in the village gathers in a large circle around the accused individual. Then each person in the tribe speaks to the accused, one at a time, about all the good things the person in the center of the circle has done in his lifetime. Every incident, every experience that can be recalled with any detail and accuracy is recounted. All the positive attributes, good deeds, strengths, and kindness are recited carefully and at length. The tribal ceremony often lasts several days. At the end, the tribal circle is broken, a joyous celebration takes place, and the person is symbolically and literally welcomed back into the tribe. That is something that that every time I read it, I realize, wow, imagine if we lived in a country or in a society or in a culture, in a school that would allow that. What different outcomes we would have. So I'm wondering if you all in the chat could actually do something to reflect on, what if you were in the middle of that circle? What would people say about you? And if you could share on the chat, that would be super generous. What would people say about you?